welcome everyone to the championships between OHVA and INDLS. With me today, I have my co-commentator as always,
Hello, I'm Jackson.
and I am Blaze, as hopefully most of y'all know me at this point. Um, this is the final match, final series of the season. This is the big one, and I hope you guys are as excited as we are. Should be some good games tonight. We are hopping right in with the champion select, and let's go. So, for OHVA, we see the Nautilus and the Viego bands coming out. Makes sense. Tom Kench 2 for the first three bands, and for INDLS, we see Akali and Jinx, and I don't know who the last one's going to be. I know the Viego and Nautilus can be quite scary. Both can be uh, aggressive and very. They create a lot of space for their team. Viego's great at killing people at all stages of the game. His healing plus the ability to take over dead champions' bodies makes it quite easy to get ahead on him and very quickly, especially if you kill a carry.
And then there's a problem with the Tom Kench on all the other teams.
Yep.
INDLS has faced so far.
Yep. Tom Kench is a good band. Tom Kench could be played support, uh, top lane. He's a very versatile champion, and well, he just does not mess around when it comes to fighting people. Not to mention he's tanky as all heck.
Yep. The Akali ban. I know OHVA's mid recently played a game of Akali and did extremely well, so I respect that ban.
Yeah,
As well as the Jinx and Hecarim.
we do see the Volibear and Ari locked in instantly for INDLs, as well as the Lux for OHVA. Lux, very good pick. It is the signature pick of the OHVA's support, as well as, if need be, it can be flexed onto the mid lane pick. And, well, we all know my disposition on OHVA against Lux is they don't do very well, so might as well pick it or ban it rather than have to fight it. And we see the Wukong pick. Past couple weeks, we've seen the Wukong pick go great. It's been a staple for OHVA. We see the Corki pick. I'm a little surprised to see this one come out, but Corki has been in a pretty decent spot in the meta recently, doing a lot more damage than he has in his past lives.
Yeah.
See, Corki going into Ari, that'll be interesting because if Corki gets hit by that charm from the Ari, he's in a rough spot. Um, but if she misses, Corki can punish really hard.
I mean, if anyone hit by the
Oh, you're turning up there,
the
Jackson.
sorry, my mic is currently experiencing.
That's alright, you've taken care of that. We see the Leona pick coming out from INDLS. Another very safe support pick. Both supports have been picked, so it does not hurt to lock in Leona. She can counter Lux pretty well, because if Leona hits with the Zenith Blade, her E, and Lux cues her during that animation, Leona will still be dragged to the Lux. So it's a good way of avoiding that CC to keep Leona away. And now we see some target bans towards bot lane from both OHVA and INDLS. Seems like we're going to see maybe a Sivir pick coming out from OHVA, as all four of OHVA's ADC's picks are banned currently.
Alright, how's my mic sound now?
Much better. Let me turn you down a little bit.
Alright, I apologize.
Oh, all good. Wouldn't be a stream if there weren't technical difficulties, everybody.
Yep.
We see Aphelios coming out from INDLS. Last time there was an Aphelios picked against OHVA, they struggled. That was a rough matchup.
Yeah, and if you had someone who really knows how to play Aphelios.
Mm-hmm. And there we go. Just like I said, Sivir pick. It does not surprise me whatsoever.
So do you think that's going to be a volley jungle or a volley top?
I'm leaning towards Volley Jungle from what I know about INDLS, but we will see. Ornn pick. I am always a huge fan of Ornn's. His ability to upgrade items as well as his infinite teamfight potential is just some of the best in the game.
Mm-hmm.
last pick coming out here for INDLS. A strong position to have a pick for. And we will see what they lock in. Potentially to counter one of the other choices. We see Nasus. Nasus is an interesting one. You know, we've dealt with him before. Last time we saw him, it was against a Renekton. And it went well for the Renekton, actually. They dealt with Nasus. I believe that was a game they won. I was a little
Yes.
scared for them, but they did end up pulling that one out. So Ornn is not going to do as well as Renekton because Renekton's a lot more aggressive. So we're going to see.
Yeah, the Ornn's definitely going to have to try and get out of its comfort zone, be a lot more aggressive than usual, especially against a Renekton, because you let the Renekton scale, and he will dominate the map.
Yep, agreed.
You're scared. Good to know.
Just a few,
Ah, come
general
on.
picks going in.
What's the worst that could happen?
You're duller than a broken sandwich.
It did surprise me that the Wukong made it through, because especially during some of the previous games, the Wukong has been able to do quite a bit for their team. I'm just very surprised that they banned instead of the Wukong Hecarim. These bans just rolling out.
Impure fools.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
Coward. May you die with your eyes closed.
Just some bans going back and forth and the whatnot, other than hasn't been seen already.
We charge cancellation fee.
Leona, a very scary pick for the bot lane, as it will greatly help enable the Aphelios.
Looks like draft has concluded.
Yep.
And I don't really have much more to say about it.
Yeah, I don't really either.
So on that note, we're gonna switch it over some music and get you guys hyped for our upcoming game. See ya on the flip side. This will be a game for the ages, folks. A lot of pressure on both teams. INDLS is, I believe, they have not lost a single game this season, so they are a difficult foe to go against. But on their counterpart, OHVA has only lost, I believe, 2 games this season, and the past 2 games have been very good for them, and I believe this could be anyone's game.
Hmm. Based on the pings on the red side, it looks like Leona's going to be trying to go in as soon as he reaches 6, which I mean, for Leona isn't the strangest.
Yeah, not at all. Leona having 3 hard CC abilities is
As
pretty
well
difficult.
as one just making her not die.
Correct, as well as her W, which increases her tankiness by a lot. We do see Sivir being a fairly good ADC to dodge some of that CC because of her spell shield. If she uses that spell shield on a Zenith Blade, it'll stop the Leona from CCing her. Although I believe, if I'm correct, the interaction is the CC is stopped, but the drag is not, so Leona will still get pulled to her. But I could be wrong about that.
Looks like Aphelios accidentally healed. That could be quite the
He
downside.
did. That is
However,
a
OHVA is not aware of this.
good spot. Yes, OHVA would have no clue that this happened. I think the lanes to watch this time around are definitely going to be bot and mid. JVR here we usually see having a very exciting lane in the mid lane, often taking a lot of fights with his laner.
Maybe a little peek once or twice at the top lane. Oh, already level 1,
Yep.
getting quite a bit of damage off on that RE.
Yeah, we see the Corki W, or yeah, wait, no, it's his E. Haha. We see Corki E reducing the armor and magic resist from the Ari, and his autos do a lot of damage. Look at that, Ari already about 1/3 HP. Ari
Hasn't
can
even
heal it
hit
up pretty
level 2
quick
yet.
though. There's the Zenith Blade. It looks
Yep.
like we're gonna see an early flash out from the Sivir.
As well as
Maybe.
a heal and an ignite. Lots of sums going out here.
Yep. So, I mean, because of the loss of the heal on the Aphelios, the sums are currently even in the bot lane. Although, Flash is arguably more valuable than anything that has been used thus far. Leona here too, or not Leona. Oh, we're gonna see early gank top lane, but Leona, or not Leona. Ooh, bit of an over-aggressive
is-
dive. They're gonna take a lot of damage.
Ooh, but also so is Nasus, causing him
They
to...
do a lot of damage on Nasus, but the issue is here, Nasus heals up a lot.
Yeah, especially with Fleet Footwork. But he did not take Fleet Footwork, he took Grasp.
But he has
and Diving.
Grasp, which is still healing.
Is it? I'm not entirely sure about how
Yeah,
Grasp works.
so after he autos, so basically Grasp works, you auto minions for a certain amount of time, and your auto and your it'll slowly charge up, and then when you hit a champion with an auto, it'll heal. But it looks like Wukong's coming back for more. Nessus is going to be forced to flash out. Wukong might be able to finish him off though. And look
Yep.
at that, we see a kill top lane.
First
Very,
blood to the Wukong.
very good play on OHVA's part. We see no vision from the Nasus in the tri-bush, so he did not know the Wukong was going to be coming back, but probably should have saved it, because we see the charm being missed on the Corki, but he does kite right back into the second cast of that Q, plus the ignite is enough to take him down. Quite a close kill there, but maybe a little too over-aggressive for the Corki.
This volley taking a lot of Wukong's camps, so needless to say, a level ahead.
Volibear trying to counteract the gank in the top lane by getting other objectives elsewhere in the map. In this case, it would be Wukong's CS, Wukong's camps. Just kind of chilling. We do see Volibear being topside as well as Wukong. Wukong might try to do a gank, but if he's not careful, he could be counter ganked by Volibear. But Volibear's gonna back. See a fight coming out. Orin maybe biting off a little more than he can chew right now. See a lot of poke coming out from the bot lane. Corki
coming
doing
up
a very good
from the
dodge
river.
on that E, getting aggressive, but missing the Q, missing a huge chunk of damage on that Ahri. Now the Ahri has all of her momentum back to go for this Corki. If he's not careful, he could die here if she hits a charm. And she missed it.
Which he does not. Wukong might be able to get a
Wukong
kill
coming
here,
in, gets
however. Oh,
swoops and gets the kill, not even in risk of being attacked by the Volibear. Very good finisher there. We have seen this Wukong be consistent and very clean throughout the entire season, and it seems that this is no exception.
yep. Nass is waiting for his opportunity to key those minions, get up his stacks.
Yep. Why don't you go explain for our maybe previous viewers how NASA's stacks work, Jackson?
So with his Q, every once in a while, you'll see his staff change different colors, like right there, with the purple line overhead. That is Nasus's Q, I believe.
Yep.
That every time he kills a minion, the damage for that increases incrementally. If it's a champion or Shelly or a dragon, it goes up by 12 stacks. The cannon minion, I believe, goes up by 6, while regular minion goes up by 3. So not very much, but over time, that starts to really hurt.
And what do those stacks do for him?
For each one stack, he gets 1 more damage for that ability's damage output.
Yep, you had it perfectly correct. For every point in those stacks that Nasus has, his Q damage increases. And you'll see throughout this game, as we check on Nasus here and there, you will see those stacks be quite large in number. And we see a rough spot for the bot lane here. Guaranteed death here for Sivir. Not much she can do. Lux is able to walk away though. Only a 1 for 0 there. We got to see a little bit more vision control coming out from OHVA here, as they don't have anything in the bot river or their bot lane. And it looks like sorry folks, INDLS might be getting this dragon here.
Looks like it. Wukong or Lux might try and steal it, but they have no vision on that right now.
Yep.
And now they do. Corki with his ungodly wave clear.
Indeed.
Nass is still farming up. An engage from the Ornn, it looks like. Yep.
Yeah, Ornn
Two-
doing as much as he can do, but once he uses
Unfortunately,
all of
it's
his
Nasus.
abilities, it's done for, and then it's Nasus kind of has free roam here.
Yeah.
But Ornn is still putting up a pretty good fight. He's got his ult now, but Nasus also has his ult, and I mean you can see there if when Nasus kills a minion with his Q, he heals a bit of HP. We do see a kill coming out. We get the wither on the Ornn. That
And the
99%
Nasus
slow is enough to get the kill. Ornn needs
Yep.
to be a bit more careful pushing up that hard. See a potential bit of
quite a nice charm on that
over-aggression, but we
Wukong.
see a very nice Cyclone coming out. And Ari getting the reset on her dash. She's used 3, she's now had 4. It looks like Corki's in a bit of a rough spot here. I don't know if he can fight her off. He's going to have to dodge the charm, but he did not. And that is a kill.
Yes, this Ahri seems to be playing extremely well.
She played that fight pretty good. Corgi is a tough champ into Ari because you have to dodge that charm and you have to hit the rest of your CC. Or, well, not CC because Corgi doesn't have CC, but the rest of your abilities. And when you're against such a mobile champion like Ari, Corki's slow projectiles are not going to be easy to hit.
Yeah.
Wukong did a nice job there of trying to turn it as best as he can. It did end up being a 1 for 2, but it could have been a 0 for 2. So you have to take what you can get sometimes. This game is by no means over or in one team's favor too much. OHVA has plenty of room to come back, but INDLS is a bit ahead. They do have a dragon, and they're about 2,000 gold up. So we're going to have to see some objective pressure coming out here from OHVA.
Yep. Who do you think scales better at the moment?
Without a doubt, INDLS. They got the Nasus. And they have the Aphelios, both late
Looks like
game
we've got a gank one here.
champions.
Aw,
We see
Corgi missing the dash over the wall, it would seem.
yeah, he misses the dash. We do see a flash coming out from Ari to secure the kill. But rough. We're gonna see a 2v2 here. Ornn needs to pop his ult sooner rather than later. And he does hit it. Hits it on the Nasus, but he's not in a good spot. And Wukong does not have the proper damage output. Bit of a rough spot here for OHVA. They are losing their chances here, little by little. Very
There
good.
was an ult from the Leona, excuse me.
Yes, very good CC and lockdown on the Sivir there. You know, spell shield is only enough to block one ability, so you got to time it properly. Leona likes to sit in those bushes. We need to see some more warding coming out from OHVA if they expect to counter that.
But what do you know? It's 3 and 9.
Oh, 3-9 curse as they call it in Valorant. But this isn't Valorant.
Yep. OHVA definitely needing to find something to get back on top here.
They're not too far behind at this point, but we do need to see some more passive play from them. You know, they started relatively strong and now they're pretty behind, so they need to play as if they were behind. You know, Corky being very aggressive here, and it might get him killed again, and it does. And this is what I mean, you know, it looks like a safe play, but this Volibear is very properly playing the map, you know, using the lack of vision on OHVA's side to get that advantage and get those free ganks out.
Yep.
So
anytime any lane starts to go in, Volley seems to always be there.
I completely agree. Volibear is doing a great job at controlling this map. With a second dragon coming up here soon, we might see a little bit of contention for that, but as it is only second Drake, outside of the gold value and getting that one step closer to Elder Soul, or not Elder Soul, Elder Drake, sorry. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, Jackson. Can you?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
trying to.
as we
What I'm
look
trying
around-
to say is they need to fight for this next dragon.
Yeah. These dragons are probably what's going to help them come back. The only problem is this Volley is very strong right now. Not only the Volley, but he's helped his entire team.
Yeah, we do see
Nasus
this
looking to take down this
Nasus.
turret here.
Yeah, and he just is gonna dive for free, and there's not much he can do. Wukong, I don't even know if Wukong can really contest. Got to bring the
Yeah,
Nasus under
Wukong-
turret, but
Definitely trying, but
yeah,
turret
he
not seeming to
is
like targeting
doing a
the
lot.
Nasus.
Needs to kill that last minion. And Nasus is gonna get the 2v1 under turret, and he lives to see the day.
There's Corky now up there.
Corky is gonna
Seems they
take his
really want to
shot.
shut down this Nasus.
We do see a 4v2 bot lane, and the Corky can't even deal with the Nasus.
Yep, that was a flash.
This
and
game
Corky
is
has
becoming.
3 kills with his Q.
This game is, you know, INDLS are starting to run away with this game. It is, you know, OHV are trying to do their best to get back into this game, and they keep getting stunted at every step. And this is a rough spot for them, folks.
OHVA seems to make a lot of risky plays, which might be how they made it here in the first place. Just taking a lot of risky plays that turned out working out for them. In this case, however, they need to stop taking risky plays and play a little more passively.
Yeah, you know, INDLS is great with the map pressure, and they are also dominating the map already. They, you know, OHV is struggling with map controls, so they need to take a back seat and do what they can to try and let their carries scale up. You know, this Nasus is a huge threat. In fact, why don't we check in on the Nasus stacks? Let's see. Nope, it did not want to see that. As a dragon, folks, you know what that looks like. We see 357 stacks coming out for Nasus at 13 minutes. I'm no expert on Nasus, so, but I would say that that's a lot.
Yes. Ordinarily at around 15 minutes, Nasus, at least the way I play him, would have maybe around 200 stacks. Given how he has over 100 more than usual, I would say the Nasus is feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, we do see objective bounties coming out from our 4 OHV. So that could help them get back into this game. But they gotta get the bounties first, and that's usually the issue. There's the Volibear spotted out again. Corky in a rough
The
spot,
Ornn
but it is a
ulting, trying to
2v3
keep him
Ornn
off, does not
doing
work.
what he can to lock down the Ahri, but Ahri's a slippery champion, and they're just going to have to walk away. They cannot take this fight. Volibear ults, and he gets a lot more HP and more damage, and he's chasing. That Thunderbolt's going to miss the Wukong. Ornn in a rough spot, getting charmed back into the fight, going to try to use his Unstoppable to get away, and he successfully does.
If someone is able to crack down on this Volley, maybe they could kill him, but with the amount of healing he has, even then,
Yeah, I mean, killing the volley isn't like a bad thing at all, but they need to really focus on the people that are ahead. You know, if we look at the chart here, we do see, lots of bounties coming on these three characters, especially the
This Nass
Nasus
is
and the
shoving down the
Ari.
top lane.
I mean, Nasus is pretty much an unstoppable force, and they can't even 2v1 him here. Wukong in a rough spot. He has no clone to get away. Ornn gonna try to CC him. Ornn missing it, and Corki just
Not
trying everything
able
he
to
can to get away. And
keep
this
up with
Nasus
him.
is steamrolling them. His
Mhm.
HP is not going down.
I'm heavily expecting a Nasus ban next game.
As well, and I don't know if OHVA can come back from this. I want to stay positive for them, but this Nasus is taking quite literally negative damage. He is healing more damage than he is taking.
Yes. This bot lane pushing while everyone else is distracted with this Nasus.
INDLS are playing this game very well here in this late game. Well, it's not even late game yet. It's like barely mid game. But it feels like late game.
Mhm.
We're probably going to see the top inhib tower go down here soon, especially if Nasus keeps pushing. I'm not even sure if they can 5v1 the Nasus at this point. Their
Yeah.
highest
This Nasus is
damage.
4 levels above every single champion on OHVA.
Yep. I mean, we see the highest damage character being the Wukong for OHVA is probably like that damage isn't even going to be enough to kill this Nasus. He is a scary champion. They're either going to have to pick or either ban or counter the Nasus next game. But do not be discouraged. This is only the first game, and I've seen stranger games happen, so this may not be even a loss for them. Volibear keeps sitting up in that spot, which Faye needs to learn that and needs to understand that he is not going to stop sitting up there. We see the Nasus teleport from behind. Strange teleport, because he was
Ornn
within
also,
walking distance.
they're trying to
but,
shut someone down, but they cannot.
yep, Nasus gonna walk over, slap Deluxe, and she is dead. And Sivir is quick to follow. That Q damage is not stopping. And
I think every single kill that Nasus has gotten has been with his Q, which is properly played.
yep,
But how many kills does Nasus have again?
let's find out. He has 10. Let's look at Nasus' stacks now. Last time we checked, it was around 350.
Stacks from champion kills alone.
Yep, we have seen an increase by about 250 stacks since the last time we looked at Nasus.
And for 17
In
minutes,
about
that is
4
quite
minutes
horrifying.
of time. If Nasus had stayed with the team, they might have been able to end right there. But they're opting for the safer play, getting some objectives across the map, and waiting to close out the game, maybe next push or next fight.
Which I think is the proper play here, because allowing them to secure their victory, even just by a little bit more, is how they've been winning, at least from what I've seen from their other games.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it allows them to secure victory instead of taking a chance and gambling.
sometimes in League you gotta play way safer and way slower, and that's what they opted for. They picked up the Rift Herald. We're probably gonna see a third dragon come out, putting them on Soul Point. Like I said, I don't know what OHVA can do to get back in this game. It would take a throw of like a giant magnitude from INDLS's part for them to lose this game.
Mhm.
They're setting up for this dragon. They've started it, and they're gonna
Looks
let
like
it
might have
reset.
been accidentally.
It might have been accidentally. Got
Looks like
three
they're waiting
people
for that
going up
Nasus.
top lane to deal with the Nasus, but they're staying their distance. He's summoned that Rift Herald, and he might be able to solo end this game, as there is not much
The
he can do.
amount of damage his Q deals to those turrets.
Yep.
There's
There
one.
is nothing they can do.
There's two. Poor reference, everyone, by the way. When Nasus is in his ultimate, his Q cooldown is reduced immensely.
And it does more damage, and Nasus heals more, and takes less damage. It's a strong ultimate. And
He alone has killed 4 members of OHVA. I think this is where the game ends, unfortunately.
he's greeting for this pentakill here, and it's gonna get him
Cost him his
killed.
life.
Is it enough for OHVA to come back? Probably not. If they keep
Flux
making
missing
plays
the
like
ult,
that, though,
fortunately,
maybe.
just
We're gonna see
barely.
2 inhibs fall, though, and we did see a third dragon get taken, so INDLS is on Soul Point. Nasus being a little cocky there, I would say. probably should have just opted to end the game, but they're in such a spot that even those kind of plays can be made without worry.
Yeah. Looks like OHVA is successfully fending off the Nasus, who was thirsting for a penna.
Well, I'm not sure if they fended him off or if it was the turrets, to be honest.
Well, that's fair.
Also, that polar bear skin is so pretty.
Yeah.
I really
What
like
skin
that.
is that?
That's the Prestige Thunder, or like Thunder Dragon one, I think. It's
Ah,
really good. Anyway. Seeing just a bit of a slower game as INDLS resets. Looks like they might be going for a Baron here soon. NASA's pushing bot lane as that's the only lane with anything but Nexus turrets left, so might be even seeing a Baron here soon, especially if most of OHVA responds to this Nasus. You see Wukong might get punished here for that, but the Lux throwing a nice binding, and but Wither is on such a short cooldown, and I don't think Wukong can escape from this one.
yep, I think the Lux needs to run.
Absolutely.
Yep, trying to throw out a root does not quite make it.
Wither being about a not long enough cooldown for a 99% slow, in my opinion, but
I believe it's 6 seconds, while the Wither lasts 5.
yeah,
might be
it's
one up on both.
it's long, that's for sure. We're gonna see a free Baron, no contest, and we're probably gonna see another 1v4 from Nasus. As time and time again, we've seen that these guys cannot handle him, and I mean, he's just gonna ignore them and go for the turret.
Yep, and a Nasus with Baron buff is horrifying.
Yeah, we will probably be seeing the end of the game here, folks. I don't know. You know, Nasus is
Well,
greeting, but
maybe.
he's at a point where it doesn't matter.
And the rest of their team is also there, so I don't think there's any winning this.
Yeah, it looks like OHVA might just stay in their base and let this game end. Go to game 2. Series isn't over. OHVA can still pull off the 2-1. And they're going to do the aggressive dive, try to get a kill. Little BM, but that's okay. And that is game 1 to INDLS. Stay tuned for the next ones. And we will head to intermission, folks. See you in a bit.
We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of the world that we defy.
Oh, it appears I might have been muted. Welcome back. If that didn't go through the first time, we are now starting the second pro draft. It would seem we have the same two bands coming out from INDLS, the Akali Jinx first two bands, and
Oh, there goes the Nasus.
Yep. There goes the Nasus. That is or not unexpected, ban there, fully expected actually, especially
I
after
have a
that
feeling
struggle.
that if it's not banned, the TK will probably come out for the top lane. I know that's been very prominent.
Yeah, it could be, and TK is a monster in his own right, but a lot more manageable than a head Nasus. And we see the TK band anyway. Better to be safe than sorry. We're going to see first pick coming out for INDLS. We see the Xayah, probably a comfort pick for their ADC. Also a very safe ADC to pick when you don't know what you're playing into.
Mhm.
Makes sense to see the Ashe come out. Been a staple for OHVA's bot lane the entire season. Very good pick for them. Consistent pick, hitting those Ashe ults across all of the lanes as well as the Lux. It's a very deadly combo, those two.
Mhm.
We see the Jarvan being picked for INDLS. That is an interesting pick. You don't see Jarvan played a lot, but when he does, he's a good one. He's got a lot of good single target lockdown, as well as some AoE lockdown with his ult there. But if he's not careful, that can screw over his own team.
Something I don't think I've seen before, then again, I don't see much Jarvan on a regular basis, is R, someone playing Jarvan R someone, only to dash out of that R and just leave. Kind of put someone in the timeout corner, if you will.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's a possibility if you don't have a dash to get over and out.
Speaking of dashes, there comes a Yone.
We see Yasuo versus Yone, a lore-based matchup. I won't go into it. I'm just kidding. But we Yasuo and Jarvan is a pretty staple combo. Jarvan EQ combo enabling large knockups for Yasuo, and Yone being a pretty decent champion to counter him. But this is a heavily skill-based matchup, so it's going to depend on who plays better.
Mhm.
We see the Nautilus and Dr. Mundo bands coming out, as well as the Wukong band from INDLS. While they might have lost the last game, OHVA's Wukong is definitely scary to deal with, and we won't be seeing it this game, unfortunately.
I don't think our OHVA's jungle has played anyone other than Hecarim or Wukong that I've. Oh, never mind. There was a Mumu, of course.
Yep, we're probably going to see a new pick coming out of this OHVA jungle, and I'm interested to see what gets picked. We see
Of
no.
course, there was the Nocturne, but that was a different person, so I don't count
Yes.
that.
Yep. They don't have a tank yet, but they have yet to pick top lane, and I suspect that is going to be our tank pick. But we will see OHVA with the last pick, whether it be jungle or top, so it's going to heavily depend. Could try to counterpick. It seems like they're going to take the volley bear away from the INDLS. I say take. They've already locked in Jarvan, so
Yes. Although I guess that could also be a top lane.
it could be, but I don't think that is going to be the case. Jarvan isn't really that great of a top laner.
Yeah, doesn't mean I haven't seen it though.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Just unlikely is what I mean.
Right.
But hey, I have seen stranger things. Then there's our top pick. We see Kale. Kale's a pretty good pick if you can get to that stage of the game. If Kale does not get to level 16, she is not going to be doing anything.
Yep, I expect a very aggressive top lane pick for OHVA.
And yes, as they should. If they don't, they're probably missing out on a large opportunity here. So the Leona again makes sense. Leona was very well, not see it yet. They haven't locked it in yet. There we go. Leona worked very well for them, allowed a lot of aggression on the bot lane. They're going to have to learn from their mistakes. That Leona liked to sit in those bushes off to the right of the lane a lot, so they've got to ward those better and keep a better eye on those. Otherwise, they're just going to keep struggling with that.
Yep. Vision is key.
Absolutely. And our last pick for OHVA is Shen. And,
Interesting.
it makes sense. Shen is a staple for OHVA's top laner. My only issue with it is that it is not an aggressive pick into the Kale. I
Yes.
think they would have served better by maybe bringing out the Renekton again. Shen does have a lot of map pressure, but you got to stun to that Kale early, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of great opportunities to do so. Um,
Yeah,
Not a
with
big deal,
Shen,
but definitely a missed opportunity.
yeah, with Shen, feel like we're gonna see a repeat of what happened last game, where the top pro HVA plays a little too passive and allows the opponent to scale.
It's definitely possible, and I hope that doesn't happen, but, we won't know yet, obviously. And here we are just watching rewatch of the pro draft. Any closing comments mostly? I think obviously morale for OHA is going to be a bit low, and we did see a bit of morale dampening CASC's performance last week, and it happens. Tilt is a real issue when you play League.
Yeah.
But you gotta stay positive and you gotta bring it back for this game because you're not out yet. It's only 1-0, and this is a 3-game series. So
We've seen comebacks bigger than this.
yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Now it's just time to see if this makes it even bigger.
And either way, both teams, win or lose, both teams should be very proud of where they made it. This is the finals.
Yes.
There's nowhere else to go, folks. So if you aren't proud of this, then you should be.
With that, all my comments are done.
Yeah, the only other thing I think they need to watch out for is those mid ganks from the Jarvan, because if you noticed last game, while obviously sides are swapped, with INDLS being on blue side here, they did see consistent ganks from the same spot from the volley bear, so they need to make sure they're keeping an eye out for where he's sitting, and they need to make sure that they are warding those properly and countering them as soon as they can, because the second they give him those free ganks is the second they start running away with the game.
Yep, and I think something the jungler should also probably try and stay on top of is warding their own camps, as there seemed to be a lot of invading going on.
Yeah, there was definitely a bit of lack of warding from OHVA's side. I wasn't paying too much attention to INDLS's, so maybe that same could be said for them, but they definitely need to step it up a little bit this game, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Nonetheless, I'm going to head back to the intermission screen, and we will see you guys when we are in the game. perfect timing yet again. Song ends right as we load in, so let's get into this, guys. Game 2 of a 3-game, potentially, series. That wasn't great English, I am sorry.
Looks like the Xayah took Cleanse, which I agree is pretty good to take with this team comp. I am not entirely sure about the summon area though.
That might have been a bit of a mistake, but Summon Area does boost damage a bit more than people give it credit for, so I definitely think it could work well.
Just have to see where this goes.
I agree. This game is going to be an interesting one.
This top lane is definitely gonna decide a few things.
Yep, gonna be eyes on top and mid lane again here. Probably bot even. All lanes are gonna be important ones.
Yep, even the jungle. Well,
Yeah,
especially the jungle. What am I kidding? I do really like INDLS's vision patterns, how every single person stands at a different part of the jungle, allowing for vision everywhere.
yep, it's very important to watch against invades like that. And they're doing it properly. We see the
And
bot
so
lane
we
starts
begin.
here again, and I definitely think INDLS is the late game again. They got that mega scaling top laner with the Kale. Every time she upgrades her ult, she upgrades her passive as well, making her 10 times stronger than the previous iteration. And the longer the game goes on, the stronger she's going to get. So OHVA has to be careful. We've seen an early level 2 gank from the Yone. I expect a flash.
There's the
Jarvan
Ignite,
predicts
there's
it
the pull.
though, and
Yep.
it is a 2-minute kill coming out for OHVA. That's a
Strange
rough
that
one.
it might have, as strange as it might sound, I think the flash over to Raptor Pit might have been a better flash there.
I
However,
definitely
it-
agree, but the issue being that it could have let Yasuo flash it over as well.
Right.
Um,
Not only that, but it was also so spur of the moment.
I agree. I think an earlier flash would have served him well, but I think that was kind of an unwinnable situation there for him. But
Yeah.
Yone is a catch-up champ. He scales late like his brother Yasuo. And we will probably, he's nowhere near out of this game. It's just a bit extra gold going into INDLS's pocket early.
We'll allow the Yasuo to scale up a little bit faster than his counterpart, however.
Yep, that is very true. I think, Yone can roam a little better, so it's gonna depend on if he can take advantage of going to other lanes and assisting them and getting some points in his pocket as well. We do see a bit of a slow gank top lane from Jarvan hiding in a bush, seeing if Shen's gonna fall for a bait from the Kale. Volibear coming up, so we're probably gonna see a 2v2 in the top lane. Yone taking a fight. We got 2 fights going on across this map. We got a 2v2 in the top lane. Yasuo ended up winning the fight against Yone, as Yasuo is definitely a lot stronger earlier than Yone. We see a missed Q from the Volibear and a bit of a fight in the bot lane too, causing the ADC Ashe to use both of her summons to get away. We're seeing NDLS come out swinging hard again this game.
Kale definitely utilizing that range advantage.
Yep, OHVA's got to get back up on this slippery slope. They're falling down here. If they're not careful, they're gonna let INDLS run away with this game early again. And if it gets to that point, which I don't want it to, if it gets to that point, we could see another pretty quick game.
Yep.
See Yone being very aggressive on the Yasuo, paying out with a flash. Volibear going to secure this kill onto Kale. Very good flash stun play into the taunt from Shen, not allowing the Kale to move at all. We do see Jarvan pinging for a gank in the mid lane. If Yone's not careful, he could die to this. He does not have any of his mobility. And it looks like we're probably going to see another kill on the Yone here in the mid lane. They are not leaving him alone. This jungler likes to play mid lane, and OHVA needs to realize that they have to play more back.
Which I know isn't usually with the OHVA's mid laner's playstyle, so he's going to have to try and play a little out of his comfort zone this game, or else could fall into the wrong hands.
Yep.
The gold gap not too crazy, only 1,000 gold in INDLS's favor.
Yeah,
Definitely still room
one
to go
good
back.
objective could bring that right back with no problem. I'm not too concerned for them yet. You know, you do have 2 kills on the Jarvan. No, 1 kill on the Jarvan, 2 kills on the Yasuo. So the Yasuo is going to be probably snowballing this game, which could be an issue. But they do have a Shen, which is very good at locking down Yasuo, as well as the fairly easy stun to land from the volley bear. So they have ways of countering this Yasuo, assuming he's the only issue. See another fight coming out from the mid lane. Yone opting to still take fights even though he's quite a bit down. Missed cannon in the top lane, but doesn't matter too much. Kayle gets that upgrade. She does have her ult. Shen doing a lot of damage, but that kind of stops once his Q wears off. And Kayle upgrading now has a bit stronger of a passive here.
Does she not have ranged autos in her form before 6?
No, I believe they changed it to where she does. I believe at level 6 now, after 5 autos, she gets exalted, which means she attacks faster and does slightly more damage, I think.
Okay.
They've done a lot of changes with the way her passive works since they, no. No, I guess she is not range. I thought she was range at level 1 now. Shows how much I play Kayle. Yeah, so, she's now ranged. It looked like she was ranged earlier, but that might have just been her E. Shen going in for an aggressive pick on the Kayle. Volley Bear missing all of his stuff, but
Kayle turning around, trying to get a little more damage off, might cost her her
she's
life.
a bit far away from home, but she still has her ult. And Volley Bear missing everything on her, letting her slip out of his hands.
Yeah.
Very aggressive play coming out from the Leona. It looks like we're probably going to see the death of the...
Yep.
Oh, she
That
slips away with her life. Very close escape. The Xayah Feather's barely not hitting. Much better engaged with the Volley Bear this time, but Kale's just too far away, allowing the blue side to get a free dragon. Yone's in a rough spot, going to get Yasuo ulted, and Yasuo's just going to dash away and get a third kill. OHVA is in a rough spot again, and they really need to start cracking down and learning from their mistakes because they are struggling at the moment.
Yep. Currently, roughly 2,000 gold in favor of INDLS, and it is continuing to grow.
Yep, that dragon, you know, giving them another free, what is it, like 500 gold or so, and it's not looking good at the moment, but we are too early in this game to really call it, so you gotta stay
I
positive
apologize,
and
but I
root for your
must
team.
point out really quickly that Xayah skin is the new one that came out. The Arcana Xayah skin.
Yeah.
It looks so pretty.
Yeah, Riot's not missing with skins this year, and they've been releasing some good ones. Gonna see the bot lane reset coming out from INDLS, and you know there's a pretty neutral bot lane right now. Both, you know, we do see the INDLS one being a bit up on farm, but you know, no deaths coming out of the bot lane just yet, meaning that it is pretty much anyone's lane still. Some good vision clear in the top lane. Yasuo playing his aggression to his advantage. He is snowballing, getting those control wards down, jumping on the Yone every opportunity he gets, and if Yone's not careful here, it looks like he might die too. We do see a Shen ult coming out, trying to shut down this Yasuo. Yone's able to get away. Flashes to try to secure the kill, but might have been a little too aggressive. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, the Yasuo is shut down, and that's some gold going back into the pockets of OHVA. Good Shen ult, good Volley Bear collapse. Let's keep it up.
I think they probably should have let the gold go onto the Yone so you could try and catch up a little more, but so long as they get the gold at all.
It was a bit risky being that the Yone was so low HP. It was probably
That's true
better
as
that he
well.
didn't waste the flash to go back in and just let Volibear or Shen take it. He still would have gotten assist gold, so a lot of money would have still gone into his pocket.
INDLS being very good about clearing our wards. Maybe that's why they didn't have wards set up.
That definitely plays into a part of it. You know, we do see pretty even ward scores coming out, I'd say, total for both teams. The Ashe stepping up way too far is just going to get CC chained to death, and there is nothing she can do to escape that.
One misstep is all it takes, unfortunately.
Yep, and just like that, we're going to see another kill in the mid lane as well. This is what INDLS is good at doing. They find a pick somewhere, they get someone ahead, and they scale off of that. They snowball the game to a point where you have multiple people with stacking with kills, and they're just going to run away with this game if OHVA does not pick it up and quickly.
Yep, there's now a 3k gold lead in favor of INDLS that, like I said before, is continuing to grow. They do have a dragon as well. I didn't realize they took it.
Yeah, they took it earlier when Volibear was up top trying to deal with Kale.
Ah. Speaking of which, it also looks like they're going to take the other objective, Shelly.
Yep, the Rift Herald probably going to be used mid lane, and they're going to go for the unsuspecting Yone, pushing up way too aggressively without vision, but he's just going to be able to walk into the bottom river. Going to come across a control word, probably clear that out. Or not.
Yep.
He's going to let it sit.
Jarvan going into OHVA's jungle yet again. But Volley is... Oh wait, no, that's his own jungle. Sorry, got confused from last game.
That's alright. We see the Shen just giving Kale free poke.
Well, there's not really much you can do about it. Melee into a ranged champion.
Well, you can wait for the farm to be lower and then go up and auto it. To
Yeah,
start.
but even then, you're taking some poke.
Oh, you're going to take poke no matter what, but he was just kind of giving her free autos.
Yep, this Yone killed yet again. INDLS definitely trying to lock him down, make him
Yep,
useless.
see
for
another
pretty
kill
much
on the
entirety
bot
of
lane.
game.
And this is probably a kill coming out on the Volibear, and not much they can do.
That healing may be saving him. Ah, the Yasuo Tornado just barely making it.
Yeah, OHVA is struggling yet again in this game. They're on the back burner currently, and they are running out of time to bring this back.
Yep. INDLS staying very prominent on clearing out OHVA's wards, making sure they have no vision anywhere.
It's important when you're ahead. You got to make sure the opponents have no way of getting back in the game.
Hale definitely taking down this tower fast as they can. Looks like they're going to be taking another dragon, leaving the soul to be Cloud Soul. Not the most useful, but definitely a soul worth taking.
I like to think this Cloud Soul is underrated.
Yeah,
I find it quite nice.
I can't remember what the soul part of it does. I only remember what the individual dragons do.
I know what the old one does, but they keep changing it.
Yeah.
Very nice Ashole coming out. Cleanse, though. There's a reason it was taken, but the Lux ult hits her as well, and the Volibear is able to finish her off with the W. That's the kind of plays OHVA needs to continue to do. Getting those shutdowns where
Yes.
they can.
Definitely. They used a lot for that, but anything to get them back into the game at this point.
Agreed.
This Leona going in yet again on the Ashe.
Leona being a little
Jarvan
aggressive.
coming
Ashe thinking that she's alone is going to just stay there. Good flash.
That-
Shen's coming back
That
in,
Shen
though.
ult. Looks like there's a lot going on in the bot lane. This Kale still wailing away at that tower.
Yep.
Looks like it might come into a fight here. Yep.
Volibear
Volley
finding
going
that
in.
Yasuo, but
Yasuo.
not much follow-up. Jarvan getting a good engage on the rest of his team. Yasuo
Ashe
eating
being
up
taken
the
out.
rest of the Lux damage, and Ashe is down with nothing to see for it.
Yone
Very
coming in with
massive
3-man ult.
Yone ult.
Quite nice.
But
Lux ult not quite landing, unfortunately.
so much damage coming out from INDLS that even though they're all low, they are not able to finish any of them off. And it looks like Lux is going to fall here.
Unfortunately, without that Ashe, it is very hard. And that is 4 kills onto the Yasuo.
Yeah, I mean,
If not 5, if I remember. this Kale's still wailing away just again and again. Their top laner surely likes to push.
I mean, when there's nothing else to be doing across the map, yeah, that's what you got to do.
Looks like going to be taking that red buff as well.
This is getting into the territory of unwinnable for the OHVA team. They gotta do some risky plays here to try and bring it back. They have
Over
pretty
a
much nothing to
10,000
lose.
gold deficit.
Yep. If they're not careful, we're going to be seeing the end of the game here soon.
Looks like they're trying to stay on top of all these objectives they can, make sure they are getting every single one, not letting anything through their fingers.
See a bit of farming from the top and the bottom lane trying to catch up. Even the mid lane, you know, they do have some scaling with the Yone, but you know, they're going to have to really crack down and try to enable him to win fights as best they can. You know, we did see really good team fight coming out from OHVA there. There's just INDLS is very strong with that Yasuo. They're going to need some grievous wounds to try and shut down that healing. It's not an easy one. You know,
Yeah.
we've all been in these kinds of games, those of us that have played, and we know how discouraging this can be, but they got to look
Volley
past
taking
that
the
for
blue
now.
buff, taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, that true damage from Kale isn't nothing to mess with, and it looks like
Ooh, that
Volibear is
Kale
going to
ult
go down.
saving her life and getting her a kill.
Yep, very close fight there, but Volibear just being stunted from being able to kill her due to the invulnerability.
So I know this is probably very hard, but if there's anywhere on the map that you think OHVA could try and secure to come back, where would it be?
It's got to be mid lane. I mean, you know, Ashe is a good damage dealer at all stages of the game, but she's never going to be your main carry if you've got others elsewhere. They've really got to try to boost that Yone up and give him and enable him in team fights to do what he can, and probably not even worth the kill from or worth the flash from the Yone. Sorry, Shen there. Probably should have just saving the death.
Yep. Shen trying to execute, I think, but just barely taking damage from the Gore Drinker.
Yep, that is indeed what happened. And probably see a third dragon coming out for one of these two teams here.
Looks like the INDLS is prepping it.
Yep, Yasuo's just having a
taking the voice
heyday.
farm in front of his face as if to say,
Yone doing a
can't
lot
do
of damage to
anything
him, but
about
it's
this.
not enough to take him down.
Yep.
Zaya's gonna flash after the Yone. Yone flashes away, but the autos still follow. As I mentioned last week, you can't flash an auto that's already been shot at you. And it looks like INDLS are in a position to potentially end this game if they play these fights properly. They've got a Rift Herald coming up to help them shove in. And we're going to at least see a inhib here if they play this right.
Yeah, because it looks like there might be a Shelly coming out here in the mid lane. Leona getting ready on that ulti.
Yep, we almost see a top lane turret being taken, and it is saved just before it falls. But they don't heal that much, so there's plenty of time to finish that turret off. INDLS going to reset, prepare for an objective, and potentially some more turrets.
Jarvan definitely utilizing his dashes, that's for sure.
Yep.
Kale's next upgrade is 16, is that correct?
Yep, she got her level 11 one, so now we're just waiting on the level 16, the big, scary one.
Yep. Making her permanently exalted, which means that all the bonuses to her passive are applied permanently.
Yep.
As I think I said already.
Yeah, it's alright.
This
We
volley
see-
just getting absolutely...
Yep, they caught out the
blown up.
Volibear perfectly there. There's going to be no contest for that Drake, but they're going to try to get more. All of OHVA's team is in that bot jungle there. Yone's doing his best to do some good damage, and he does, but it's not enough. And
Yes.
all of
Jarvan taking some tower shots, however, not going to be taken down quite yet.
them live. They're going to opt to use the Rift Herald here, trying.
I think their mistake there is that OHVA split up mid-fight there. One
Yeah,
went in and
they.
the others backed off.
You know, you see the
They need
Jarvan
to
ult
be-
creating wall between them.
Yep.
And this could be the end of the game here. You know,
Chili hitting 2 towers, Kale pushing the top lane. This might be the season over.
it might be it. We'll see. Looks like they're not going to greed and push for that final turret. Maybe Kale, but Kale's in a pretty good position too. They're going to wait for that mid wave to push up so they can take that turret as well. Kale just utterly obliterating the Yone, getting a massive
Ooh.
ult, finishing off the Xayah, but that is the only person he's able to find. Yasuo ulting the Ashe, and she pops like a bubble. Shen's surviving a bit in his W, stopping all auto attacks on him, but it only lasts so long, and Kale does a lot of damage. And with that,
Yep.
we're probably going to see the game end here. Unless INDLS decide to back off and go for more. But there is nothing OHVA can do to defend against this.
A good place Lux ult might help, especially with the amount of wave clear possibility, but as minions start grouping up and spreading out, that becomes a lot harder to aim.
I would maybe agree if it wasn't for the fact that they have so much healing and shielding, but it looks like they're holding on for a bit here.
Yep, there's
Lux
that Lux ult.
almost catching the Jarvan. I'm not sure if it would have killed him though. Yone backing off a little too early, and just when they thought they were getting him out of their base, they're still allowing them to come back. INDLS gonna cut their losses and back off for a bit. Maybe go for that dragon.
Kale desperately farming, trying to reach that 16. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say desperately, but definitely still doing some farming. You can see in the top left her health bar just steadily moving upwards. Definitely need some Grievous. OHVA.
Yep, we see that third Drake on the side of INDLS, and OHVA has almost nothing left, almost no turrets. They have no inhibs, and I mean, the chances of of them winning this game are quite low at this point.
So not impossible though.
Not impossible.
There is a 20k gold lead on the side of INDLS. So that's definitely going to be hard to overcome.
Stranger things have happened.
Yep. Jarvan with the GA, meaning if you could not kill him before, you will definitely not be able to now. And I think we might see this game close out here, as both top and mid waves shove forward.
Yep, we're going to see Super Minions taking care of that first turret, and Yone getting a good engage and getting out, doing a lot of damage on that Leona, but she is not the main target they should be focusing. And
The Shen doing all he can to get even a single kill.
yep,
Cannot
with 3 kills coming out from INDLS, and they're going to kill that Nexus, and they are going to end the season with one strong push. And there we are. INDLS take OHVA 2-0. They are your eSports champions, everyone. Let's not be discouraged. There's always future seasons, and they played well. They played to their best of their abilities. You know, INDLS is a tough team. You know, often,
Yep.
you know, they've been undefeated the entire season.
And they're probably going to be a constant rival for OHVA in the upcoming seasons.
Yep,
So, curious to see how they improve.
yep. But we are not done just here with the stream yet, folks. We are going to take about a 5-minute break, and we are going to come back with some player interviews. So, I don't know. Hope to see some of you guys there watching them, and
Yep.
meet you back here in about 5 minutes.
See you then.
Yep. Welcome back, everyone. We are now going to get into some champion, or not champion, haha. Sorry, those are the characters. We're going to get into some player interviews here. Our first one is going to be handled by Jackson with one of the OHVA players. So, Jackson, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
All right, so let's start off with introducing you.
Hello. I'm Kyle, Cyclone Racer in game. I was the jungler you just watched.
All right, thank you for being
Anything
here,
else?
Kyle.
Of course.
So first off, how did you feel about the banning phase?
Um, I think we did pretty good with our bans, focusing mainly on who they had a lot of mastery in. I definitely think that Nasus was a slip that we didn't really realize because that was definitely a big part of the first game was that Nasus, but I think banning him the second round helped a lot.
Right, you definitely helped the top lane get ahead a few times.
Yeah. That's what I was focusing on. I knew the top laner was really, really good, so I wanted to make sure to focus on that lane.
And it did help slow them down quite a bit, it would seem.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think it worked out.
How did you feel about the opposing jungler?
I played a lot of games against him. Armstrong, he's really, really good. He's really solid. He has a huge champion pool, which makes it really hard to like counter him ever because he's pretty much going to be able to play a solid pick against anyone you choose. But he did great. He did great both rounds. Definitely one step ahead of me in the jungle as well as helping mid lane get ahead. That was something I was struggling with a little bit, but yeah, he's a really good player overall.
All right. And then, what do you think was your best moment in both games?
Um, I had a great, I'd say I had a great early game both times. I was able to pick up a few kills early on, which I think kind of helped my momentum, but I was obviously slowed down later in the game. But I'd say the start.
All right. Um, do you have any comments? Just anything in general.
Well, I'm super proud of the team. We obviously, I think we've improved a lot from last year. We were able to get second place instead of third, which is super great to see. Everyone's improving a lot. Especially our comms, like compared to the start of the year to where we are now, it's like so much better. It's like night and day. We've improved a lot, and I'm proud of everyone. We did great.
All right.
Um,
Thank you very much, Kyle.
I'll go ahead and step in with one or two here. Kyle, being
Go ahead.
that, and correct me if I'm wrong, being that you were the senior of the team, how do you feel exiting the season on, while you made out of one first place, a second place win is still really crazy. How does that make you feel? That you won't be able to be back next year.
Um, I mean, it's bittersweet. I had a great time on the team, but overall I think second place is nothing to scoff at, and I think ending with the second place is perfectly fine with me. I'm happy with it.
I 100% agree. And I think our last question will be if you had to tell your team and the future of your team one thing, what would you tell them?
Um, just keep it up, keep practicing together, keep talking to each other, building that camaraderie outside of the esports as well, and just keep having fun with it.
Awesome. That is great advice anyone should take. Well, thank you, Kyle, for your time. And, you
Of
know,
course.
like I said, what you guys made out of one, good job tonight. Good job this season. You guys have definitely proven that OHVA is no weak school. You guys are not going to be stomped on. So, congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We will be back here in just a couple more minutes with a second interview. So, don't go just yet. All right, welcome back to interview number 2. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, your gamer tag, what position you play, and what your position on the team is.
Uh, I'm Nat. I'm Delphic. I play as the ADC, and I'm the captain of the team.
Awesome. So, you know, a bit of a rough game, rough 2 games there, and it happens. What would you say was your guys' biggest mistake
I
coming out
think
of those 2 games?
our biggest mistake is we couldn't really find our win cons. It's just they snowballed so hard if we let them even have a little bit, and they ganked hard. Especially our mid had a really rough time because of their jungle always hovering mid.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Do you guys think that you did anything wrong, or maybe was there something you guys did super right in Champion Select that helped or hurt you?
I think we drafted pretty well. We just couldn't really communicate enough to get those picks because they always communicated just seemingly a lot better.
Gotcha. Yeah, they were pretty coordinated. There's no denying that. Um, if you had to, you know, give some advice to yourself earlier today before you went into this game, what would you say?
I probably would have maybe play a little bit safer. Don't stress too much about trying to get poke off. I
Yeah,
think we all just stressed a little bit too much.
yeah. I mean, I understand that going into a finals for any reason is it's not an easy thing to do. Let's see. Is there a particular moment in, maybe not just today's games, but the entire season that really stands out to you, that really makes you feel good and feel happy about what you guys accomplished?
I think the turning point when we actually started to like draft comps, not just saying we want to play this champion and going at that. We looked for synergy. We started communicating a lot more as a team and didn't just, oh, I need to get fed, so let's do that.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. And, finally, going into next season, because I believe you will be on the team next year, um, what what advice, what changes are you guys maybe going to strive to work towards and make to maybe beat INDLS next year at the finals?
I think we need to extend our pools into different champions that have different play styles and not just ones we are comfortable with necessarily. So I should, and then that we should communicate a lot more and not double think any call outs. We shouldn't hesitate.
Gotcha. Very good answer. Very good answer. Well, do you have any final closing comments for us?
Hopefully next year we'll come back even better.
Hey, that's a good attitude to have. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for the interview and congratulations and good job tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for streaming all of this.
No problem. All right. Well, we may or may not have a third interview here, folks, so just give me a couple of minutes and I will find out. All right, well, it looks like we do not have a third interview for today. I would just like to thank you guys all for watching this season. Your support for the players is unending and continue to do that. They may not have won this year, but there's always the next, and they put up as good of a fight as they could have done, and they're gonna do better next year. Aim for number 1. Thank you guys for watching, and I wish you all a good night.